Welcome back to Generations of the Grid. We're your hosts. I'm Wes,
I'm Candace.
And I'm Dane.
and today we got a real special episode. We are going to do our first ranking debate. Is what this is going to be. We're going to go down the list of our top 10 Ranger seasons, and we are starting from 10 because I mean, why would you do it any other way? So I'm gonna start off with this. I have compiled information from all the top Ranger podcasts, all the top Ranger critics who've made articles on it, all the rankings on YouTube. I've compiled all of them, averaged it out, and we're going to call this the all-time list. So this is essentially what the general population feels. The problem is that most of them only went up to Ninja still. So there's no Beast Morphers or there's no Dino Fury, Cosmic Fury. But I do think we can all agree that Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury would probably wind up in the top 10. So we can just assume that number 10 and number 9 are probably going to be pushed out. So we'll just leave it at that. So we're going to start with what we all, we're going in order. We may go different for each one. And then we'll end it off with what the all-time list is. And then we'll run it off, see if we agree. All right. So my number 10 was RPM. I wanted it obviously in the top 10 because it's classified as one of the greatest seasons of all time. One of the end of the generations, kind of like how In Space was. Had a really good storyline, some solid acting. A lot of the effects also were wonderful. The reason why it's so low is because I didn't like the suits. I wasn't a fan of. I didn't even realize that was supposed to be like a seatbelt coming across. I guess I should have because when they morphed, they kind of, But I didn't like the suits. That's mainly why it was so low. I put a lot of stock into suits and doors and things of that nature. But I also took into account things like character development, backstories, how much they actually focus on each and every ranger, how they spread the wealth. Because I think a season needs to be well balanced. So, long story short, RPM is my number 10.
That makes sense.
Candy, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is Lost Galaxy.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like. I mean, it had a really good storyline, but I found most of the Rangers not that memorable. I mean, the only ones I really remember is like the Yellow Ranger and the Pink Ranger, and the biggest thing I mostly remember that is the original one Pink Ranger dies and Karan, aka Astronema, takes her place, and that was a pivotal moment of Power Rangers too, because that's the first time, at least on screen, you had a Ranger death. So it really cements the fact for the rest of the Power Ranger series that a Ranger can die. So it's not like, oh, you're a Power Ranger, you have plot armor.
That's
both RPM and Galaxy higher.
I had Lost Galaxy a lot higher, but Dane, what's your number 10?
So for me, 10 is Mystic Force, which will seem strange as of how much I complain about Mystic Force, but I complain because there was so much I wanted from it.
I do not agree with that. And I don't agree with Mystic Force being a number 10 because I'm looking at everything I have in the top 10. And of course, I also have the all-time list to look at. And I'm like, you're putting Mystic Force over all of these? Really?
I am.
That's
Because one, I base my list off of suit design, Zord design, weapon design, story, and potential. Okay, because for me, all Power Rangers have a little bit more that they could do. But Mystic Force is one of the series in which had the most potential. And for every other aspect, I love Mystic Force's suits. I love Mystic Force's Zords. And while there weren't a whole bunch of individual weapons, I did like the weapon design too.
I I don't think that's a fair way to do a top 10 ranking is to use potential because we're talking about the best. Like if you didn't get to
Yeah.
reach your potential, you can't be considered the best. Like in sports, if you a bust pick, like you're not getting pushed higher. If anything, you're getting pushed lower because you were supposed to be better and you weren't. And I agree with you. Mystic Force definitely had the most potential. From the storyline to the wizards to the suits to the Zords, like top to bottom, it could have easily been a top three season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
poor execution. So, but having it at number 10, I
I,
maybe number 12, maybe number 12, but not number.
because another reason why potential is a big thing because there are series in which like are good, but I honestly don't feel anything for them, like Overdrive.
Overdrive wasn't good.
It was like,
With Overdrive, it wasn't good or bad. It was
No, it was bad.
it. I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was bland. And that's why potential is a big thing for me because the Overdrive didn't even have potential. It was just meh.
That I also don't agree with. I think Overdrive had just as much potential as Mystic Force. I like the whole idea. No, hear me out. I like the whole idea of that whole treasure hunt. There being multiple factions, not just technically good and evil, but there's technically, I guess, two evil, parties that are also trying to get the same thing. It's like a race to see who gets it first, but it's also like treasure hunting. So it's like riddles and stuff you gotta like figure out. Like it could have been executed very tremendously. And then the two evil, rivals are brothers. Like there's a lot of potential there. I didn't like the suits. The suits were garbage. But other than that, it had just as much potential, I think, as Mystic Force. I do.
I would heavily disagree. I found the treasure hunting aspect incredibly boring. Now, I will say the two separate factions of evil, that was pretty cool. I will give you that. But potential, I did not see any potential in Overdrive.
All right. Any final thoughts on the number 10 pick before I get to the all-time number 10 pick?
Ooh, I want to know what is all time.
I'm
At,
curious now because I'm just picking based upon like what I like the best. Like if I'm gonna watch Power Rangers, which is the top 10, I'm most likely gonna rewatch again for the 50 millionth time. I don't have a system. I'm just going by my gut.
no, that technically
Yeah.
is
What does
a system.
everyone else say on the internet? What?
No, I was saying technically that what you're doing is a system, and that's probably what a lot of fans do anyway when they're deciding their top 10 is what do I want to watch again? What would I watch again? What would I recommend somebody else to watch? So I like that you're using that.
Mhm.
I like that Dame is doing a more creative standpoint. I'm doing a more logistic, like, so we all have our different ways of doing it. So I'm definitely curious to see how each of our top tens stack up to the all-time list. Because I honestly feel like we're all going to be more or less close. I think it's pretty okay. We'll see. Number 10 on the all-time list is Lost Galaxy.
The
Yep.
internet agrees with me.
Yes. It's
Wow.
just a veteran pick. It's just a veteran pick. You felt it in
The
your
veteran.
gut. You felt it in your gut.
Well, also, yeah, probably too, because like Lost Galaxy was the first season that was post Zordon era, as us older Ranger fans would call it.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy. Okay.
Now, I'm looking at what's next on the all-time list, and I'm like, I don't have that in my top 10 at all, and I feel like that's what's probably going to be the main one that's probably going to get me in trouble on my list. But we'll get to that next. So, number 9 on my list is well, first of all, are we all cool with Lost Galaxy being at that number 10 slot?
Not not at all, but
I'm good with it. I'm good. Like I said, I had it a little higher, but like I said, the top 10 is stacked. So I
Yeah.
all right. At number 9, I put Jungle Fury. So
Okay.
RJ is my man. Like I just all the mentor rangers, Kruger, Udana, like they're the goats, right? But RJ, before we knew, but now I understand why, gives off very serious stoner vibes. And he's just one of the best senseis in how he kind of effortless, effortlessly teaches these young adults at this pizza joint. And then he had that super dope like wolf werewolf, arc and that whole thing. And then I like his style of fighting. The suit is fantastic. All of the Jungle Fury suits are fantastic. I wasn't a fan of the Spirit Rangers. Their suits were kind of cool, but I don't know. I would have liked to see them train the Rangers for maybe
So,
another episode or two to really.
as I said, were you not a fan of the Spirit Rangers, or were you not a fan of how they were used?
I guess I wasn't a fan of how they were used. Like they could have been done a whole lot better. Like these are so you have your main sensei because for some reason now I compare everything to something like Star Wars because it's the OG of OGs. So you have something where you have your main master, right, which would be RJ. But then you have those other masters who you kind of learn from along the way as well, and those would kind of be the spirit rangers, and you would be learning different things from them. So I like how they each had their focuses, but like I said, they it should have been extended a little longer. They each should have went on their own separate journeys, like each one get their own episode, go on a separate journey, then come back after like 2 or 3 episodes, and then do their thing. But I kind of digress. Jungle Fury
Mhm.
was a solid is what I mean when I say a solid season. So Candy, you're number 9.
Jungle Fury isn't even on my list at all.
Okay.
Okay.
My yeah, my number 9. I have a SPD Space Patrol Delta.
Fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I just think, yeah. I mean, you got Commander Kruger. I mean, each character has their own like storyline going on, so like it's more of an ensemble than like I'm the star of the show, and all the other Rangers are just there to make me look pretty or whatever. And like also the fact that we eventually find out that Alpha Team were like bad guys too, and first time evil. Well, not really the first time because Psycho Rangers were evil too, but it's just like the idea of backstabbing happening within Rangers,
Mm.
as well as like some hardcore backstabbing like that, and also to like Kruger's backstory was just like that was like some hard hitting stuff going on. Yeah, so my 999 be SPD Emergency.
That's also
Mhm.
a solid, what I would call a
Mhm.
solid pick. Yeah, there's not too many bad things to say about SPD if there is anything bad to say about SPD. You got the cop aspect, you got I think for the first time a criminal or criminals became rangers, technically. So
Mhm.
that
Yes,
there
not
was
like reformed evil. I was under evil spell. This is like I broke the law, and now
yeah.
this is my
Mhm.
punishment. I have to be a ranger to atone. Not only be a ranger, but I'm the freaking leader of this group.
Hey, that's actually
What
pretty
decision
funny.
was that?
Your sentence was to become a cop. It worked, didn't it?
I,
I mean, they probably is more focused on rehabilitation than punishment.
yeah, how do you give a criminal keys to be a criminal?
Hey, hold on. You have to think about it. We, in our government, will send hackers that hack things and employ them into the government because of how well they do so.
Yeah, true. If you got a special skill, hey,
I don't know if I can be convinced that making a genuine criminal, I don't mean like, a jaywalker or something like that. I mean thieves. But then again, they were good thieves. So I guess that's what kind of made it believable was that they weren't,
Gentlemen,
yeah, they weren't bad people. They were just doing bad things, which is a concept I
yeah,
touch on in my novel, Queen's Rise. Go check it out. Had to plug that in real quick. But I think that's what also made SPD really good conceptually was because you had these three who been cops. You would say they earned their keep, and then you got these two motherfuckers that just come in here who were you just caught and put in handcuffs, and now one of them is the leader of your team. Like as much as Sky was giving off some racist vibes, I could understand where a lot of his ire was coming from. I do.
Yeah, plus he was really eyeing to be the Red Ranger just because he wanted to be like his daddy.
Like it, which is understandable.
Yep. Make his pa proud.
So this is just how I feel just in most things. Where it would be nice for your children to follow in your footsteps, I think I would be equally, if not more proud if they followed their own path and made it their own, you know.
Mm.
If I was a Red Ranger, and I know red is seen as like the highest of the colors, but if I was a Red Ranger, I had a son and he became the Blue Ranger, and he was proud to be a Blue Ranger, and he did his position well. I would be equally proud because now I got a Blue Ranger along with my Red Ranger, and I can just collect the whole set. It's about the mindset to me.
Like their Pokemon cards.
Yeah, man, collect the whole set. Have a couple more. Maybe you get a pink. Maybe you get a Black Ranger. Maybe if you're a Tommy Dick Rider, you'll get a Green Ranger.
Then eventually, in your family reunion, you have your own Power Ranger team in the family.
Exactly.
Like a family that morphs together, stays together.
Together, stays together. Yeah, we gonna get in the booth. We gonna get in the lab. We gonna write something down. Don't think too hard yet. Don't think too hard.
Let me just jot notes here.
Oh yeah.
Yes, a family that morphs together, stays together.
Oh yeah. No, that is good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And it's crazy.
My number 9 is SPD. Yep.
SPD, emergency.
Emergency, yep.
What is your number?
Sequence.
They did. That is nice. Dame, your number 9?
All right. So my number 9 is also Jungle Fury. I loved Jungle Fury's suit design, weapon design, and Zord design. Absolutely amazing. RJ is one of my favorite Rangers. So lots of similar points. And then another similar point is on the Spirit Rangers, I definitely felt they were underused, but I felt that it would have been cool if the Rangers were able to summon their Spirit Master in their Ranger form when they needed help or something. I thought that would be cool, especially since they're spirits and they were able to use their weapons. It'd have been cool if like things got really dangerous, they'd be able to summon some help. I felt like that would have been nice. And then also I felt when Jared became good, I wanted more of that, more of him fighting. Because the original Daishi suit design was absolutely immaculate, in my opinion.
That you can argue that Daishi had one of the dopest villain designs of all time.
That suit is crazy.
You can't go wrong with that black and gold setup. It just complements so well, And then he was the lion, like he was the lion. He got the royal feline, So they gave him the black and the gold, and it was looking good. And he had dope powers too, really good with the hand to hand. He wasn't just all blast you away. He could actually put the paws on you, literally and figuratively speaking. So
and then his Camilla was also cute.
Oh yeah. You always like that kind of I'm in love with my boss, but he's like evil. But I think I could change him. Tell us about that, Pink. I think you might know something about that.
No. See, I'm a bit different, okay? I like the idea of taking someone who is evil and bringing them to the light, okay? I can fix them in. Sometimes you can't, but sometimes you can. That's all I'm gonna say.
You almost never can. Like, unless they're genuinely good at heart.
Okay? I don't want to hear it, okay?
I would explain all the Tommy thirsting we got going on out there. He was evil first, and then Jason fixed him.
I'm about to say, come on now. Curses obviously don't count. evil spells, and if you weren't evil, you were just being puppet mastered into doing evil stuff. You can't count that. Tommy is a Boy
I think
Scout.
it's
With ADHD.
High, heavy, severe ADHD. Couldn't find
Something. I'm like, that boy is so distracted on so many levels.
it,
He's
but
either got super focus or it's all over the place. There was like no in between for that character.
that boy could throw hands though, that's for sure. That boy could throw hands. Ain't nobody debating that. All right, so that's SPD and then two Jungle Furies at that number 9 spot. So for the all-time list, yet again, we got SPD at number 9. So our
okay.
OG gets it right again.
God damn. Okay.
Gets it right again. Probably. I want to say probably, yeah. Like not even trying to be funny, but if I'm thinking about it, I think so.
Okay, they're from my generation of Power Rangers. Got it.
Yeah,
It
those
would
who
be
are there
and with it.
have the most knowledge. All right. So number 8. So before I say this, I'm gonna say we kept the regular and the super seasons together, i.e., Ninja Steel, Super Ninja Steel, your Mega Force, your Super Mega Force. We kept those seasons as one entity. Same thing with Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge, Super Dino Charge, whatever. We kept all those the same. But we separated the Mighty Morphin seasons because technically each season had a different set of Rangers, and we all know season 2 was just its own whirlwind of shit. So we separated those, and we also separated Cosmic Fury and Dino Fury, but both seasons of Dino Fury is still one Dino Fury. All right, number 8, I put Mighty Morphin season 1. Now nostalgia wins
All
out.
right.
Nostalgia wins out. Do I recognize the flaws? Of course. But if you're giving points for potential, we can give points for OG status. We can give points to those
Mhm.
that paved the way, the ones that kicked us off, the ones that are the reason why we're all sitting here spending hours on end talking about this shit. And while you are listening to others talk about this shit for hours on end, like you got to give them their flowers. And I think number 8 was a real good spot because it's like it's too flawed to put in the top 5, but
Hey, you're crazy because my top 5.
it's
So
too.
much higher. So much higher.
We know it's high on yours. We know it's high on yours. But like I said, we all took the different. I'm taking the more analytical standpoint of it, where when you actually look at Mighty Morphin for what it is. Like if you weren't there, if you were just introduced to Power Rangers and you watched it in no particular order, Mighty Morphin season 1 would probably hover around that number 8, number 9 area. Obviously, the acting was something to be had. The action sequences, of course, they don't make them like that no more. Doing your own stunts and these genuinely athletic people doing their own stunts. Like they don't make them like that no more. OG Zords, smooth, get the job done, gives you a good feel, and then each Zord felt unique yet the same at the same time. So it's not like it was all about the color. Their designs were also very, very dynamic, and I think that was amazing. Like 40, 50 episodes or something. Gave you plenty to watch. You have the Green with Evil arc, the greatest 5 episode arc in TV history. It's so much good stuff in Mighty Morphin, but it's also so flawed. There's no real storyline. It's just high schoolers. It's essentially Saved by the Bell with a lot of ass kicking. That's essentially what it is. And that's why I couldn't have it but so high because everything I have above that has storytelling, it has acting, the Zords, the suits, and everything else. And by the way, I think
Mm.
the Mighty Morphin suits are mid. I don't think they're that extravagant. They're not terrible looking, but I think they're definitely middle of the pack. If there are 30 suits, I would put Mighty Morphin somewhere around that number 15 spot. I would.
This man's hate for Tommy has leaked. It has corrupted his
Yep.
thought process.
Can't even. I just can't even.
Look,
Man,
what do you want from me? Okay. I will say this so you don't find out later. Mighty Morphin season one is not top 10 on the all-time list. Nope. As a matter of fact,
It's wrong.
as a matter of fact, I think based what I just said, I think it is hovering around that 15 area when I look at the rankings. And as some even
crazy.
have it
That's
like lower than that. So
They're just wrong. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. They're wrong. No. How dare you do the season this the Power Rangers that got the party started, okay? Respect your elders.
look,
suit design. That's classic suit design.
classic, yes. Classic doesn't always mean best. Classic doesn't always mean good. It just
In
means
this,
classic.
it does. Okay, pristine. It is the best of the simplistic. It is.
It's fine. We're going to
It's
do
the
a top
formula
10.
that's
It is, but we're going to do a top 10 ranking of the suits at some point, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty of that. But I got Mighty Morphin number 8. Cry about it. Like I say, it's not even on the all time list, but y'all yelling at me. Like at least I'll put it at number 8, which
formula.
I think is a good.
It's not an argument. You're both wrong. It's all wrong. Okay. Anyone who does not put Mighty Morphin at least season one top 5, you're wrong.
Let me ask y'all this before we move on to Candy's pick. If you had to introduce somebody to Power Rangers, you would introduce
I
them to
tell the
Mighty
story.
Morphin season one first?
Mighty Morphin.
If you wanted them to actually stay and become a fan of the franchise, you would start them off with Mighty Morphin.
Yes.
Yes, with Green with Evil Part 1.
You can't drop them off at the pinnacle like that.
I'm saying start from episode 1, the very first.
Oh, Day of the Dumpster. Yeah. Oh yeah, but you need that too.
I'm a,
Zordon.
we're, all right, okay.
I know when my niece gets a little older, I will have her sit down and start her with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
You can start a child with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. If you're trying to get adults who are paying money on board, you can't start.
Hey, why is
Let's
it
just give
when they revamped the movie, what did they take from Mighty Morphin?
Yep, that too. Yeah, there's a point.
That's done because Mighty Morphin gets jammed down our throats because of the nostalgia factor, and y'all know it. You know it in the comics, that new movie. They're just milking the Mighty Morphin well because they know fans like y'all are stuck on it, and they're right, and
Yeah,
that's
but
why they're
also
going
too,
to
if
keep
you
doing
think
it.
about it, if you also think about it too, like if you talk to someone who's not like a major fan or just know of Power Rangers, when they think Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin's the first go-to for most people in general.
That's fine, and I get that. But if you want them to remain fans of the franchise, yeah, they recognize the suits, but that doesn't mean that when they get to the suits and see them in action that they're going to like it. I would argue, and let me just give you one so that you can put it in your head, because right now you guys are just flailing around on Mighty Morphin. If I had to give it to to another season, if I wanted to start you off, if I wanted to not only get you to become a fan, but also get you acclimated to the franchise, I would start them off with Dino Thunder. You got Tommy in it. You got a quick little history lesson in it. It's got a good
True.
storyline. It's got good suits, Rangers. It sticks with the Mighty Morphin theme without trying to copy Mighty Morphin word for word, bar for bar. Like it's got everything you need, and it's watchable by somebody who actually watches like quality stuff. You know what I mean? I would start them off with Dino Thunder.
Yes, but also your first point. How would they appreciate Tommy without actually knowing who Tommy is?
But that's half
Ooh.
the point of Dino Thunder in that history lesson. They're going on the same journey that the kids are going on. They don't know who Tommy is. They don't know Tommy is this famous. They learn it in this history lesson, and then they're just like, "Wait, you were a total badass? Like that's crazy." And now they get to learn that as well. And now when they go back to Mighty Morphin and they waiting for Tommy to pop up, and they're like, there he go right there. That's our boy from way back when. It's you got I look, I've gotten really good at introducing people to new things, and there's an algorithm to it. And I promise you, you can't start people off with Mighty Morphin, even though it is the heart and soul of the franchise. They're so done with me.
Silence speaks for it.
Just the complete disappointment over the airwaves. Well, let's move on from there, and we'll do Candy's number 8 pit.
Okay, mine would be Power Rangers Zeo.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fair.
Power Rangers Zeo. So this is kind of when, the first time we're like, going off, kind of moving further away to like Mighty Morphin himself and get to see more of the evolution and how the power really evolves in a much more complex way. Plus, you get Jason coming back as Gold.
Nice.
Having like a whole machine empire like threatening the whole Earth. It just feels like a little bit more heightened tensions.
Zeo was not on my list, but it was definitely a heavy contender for the list. I really enjoyed Zeo.
It's like a little, and it was a little weird for me too, but it was just like, but it was like a good kind of weird. It was just very different. I mean, the only downside of Zeo is the I like to call the Dear Tommy letter. That's a dark mark for that season.
Poor Tommy. The one time and only
And the
time.
and the cats. But the only one thing, the problem with Zeo I have is like the whole Aisha Tanya thing. So when Aisha switches places with Tanya, she's still a kid in Africa helping with animals, but now Tanya is an adult. But Aisha has like parents. Is there a missing persons report out for her or what?
Probably.
I feel like there was a lot of questions there that were never answered.
Yeah, and that's exactly why you don't start people off with that Mighty Morphin era, because nothing is explained.
Yeah, okay, I wouldn't start
It
anybody
was
on
just Zeo. There was like some holes in Zeo.
Mighty Morphin had holes too.
I like that.
Yeah, but not that type.
They weren't like big layering plot holes. They were just like, it's a little hole.
You do know that technically that plot hole is from Mighty Morphin, right? I said that plot hole is from Mighty Morphin because they came back as adults at the tail end of Mighty Morphin. Then in Zeo, they were already adults. So that's a Mighty Morphin blend.
Wait, no, but that wasn't Mighty Morphin. No, sorry. That was the alien. That was that weird the weird half season of the Alien Rangers from Aquaterra.
That's okay.
Alien Rangers.
Yeah, the Alien Ranger season. It's like its own little quasi season, even though it's not a full season, but it kind of counts as its own season. They're called Alien Rangers, and they come from Aquaterra. Help.
Very strange season.
Yeah. Very, very strange beings. Yeah. But in Zeo, we got the cool, like, pyramid Zord. The gold pyramid. Like, this that just comes out and shoots stuff at you. I'm like that's not intimidating on its own.
Yeah, what was it called? Like Pyramidas?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I believe so. I think it was like Pyramidas. It had to do something like the pyramid because like the whole concept I believe behind the power was that it was like from ancient Egypt.
Yeah, and Power Rangers liked that whole thing because they had Titanic too.
Like shared it. Yeah, and I believe 3 brothers shared it, and they had to get a key so they could give it to Jason because they found Jason worthy.
What even was those triplets, yo? Like they did all that just to reveal it was them, and we're just like, who? Triforia? Who is that? And then there was just a whole stupid misdirection, but they were really about to give to Jason. I'm just like, that was such a stupid twist. It wasn't even a twist to me. It's just, I don't know, a misdirection at best.
Because at that point you're thinking like, oh, maybe it's gonna be Billy. It's gonna be Billy. Nope. Then Jason shows up, and I'm like, Billy got so screwed over. Like I know, like because Billy's like overradiated some bullshit, so we're gonna give it to Jason. I'm like, Billy's right there. Billy stuck around.
Billy got did dirty on screen and off screen quite a bit, but that's a conversation for another day. But
he got his comeback.
Yes.
Yep, he did. So again, my number 8 is Zeo.
Nice. And just to inform you, Zeo is not in the top 10 of the all-time list.
I can understand.
Okay, I'm not too surprised on that one. I can understand.
Yeah. I get a nostalgia factor from Zeo as well though. So I if we were doing a top 15, I might have had it in my top 15 for sure. All right, Dane, your number 8.
So my number 8 is RPM.
Okay.
One of the things that like, I love RPM. Again, as Wes was saying about RPM, it is definitely one of those series that like everyone loves because it's special. It definitely is. But one of the things that brought down RPM for me has to do a little bit with outside knowledge, with all of like the knowledge of how many more Zords there were in the Super Sentai version. The fact that we did not get those Zords definitely irked my nerves. And then also in the Super Sentai version, the Zords were sentient. They weren't just vehicles with animal faces. They actually talked and like interacted with their rangers, and that is another factor that I wish was in RPM. Even if it didn't make sense, I wish.
I think that's a large factor in how the all-time list came into play because a lot of major real like fans of Power Rangers also watch the Sentai. And they usually compare the Sentai to Power Rangers. And because Sentai is the original, that's the marker. So when Power Rangers doesn't follow the same storyline or they don't transfer a concept over from the Sentai that they think should have been transferred over, it peeves them off. And now they're looking at the Ranger show from a negative standpoint already because you don't have something that I wanted to see. Now I'm upset. Now I got the angry goggles on, and now you getting points
Mhm.
deducted for no reason. So, but I think RPM is a good pick at number 8. Like I said, it's a solid pick. It can go anywhere. I feel like from a top 5 season all the way down to I could see somebody putting it at number 15. Right? It's just it's a solid season. It doesn't have too bad of downs, but ups
Mm.
also aren't that high up. It's just very, very solid. So yeah.
What's the
So
people's choice?
the people's
Yeah.
choice.
Now I'm curious.
So the people's choice is actually Jungle Fury for number 8.
Okay, all right. I'm not.
Yeah, first L by the OG. She didn't guess that one. Soon as she said Jungle
Well,
Fury is not in my top 10.
I'm not that keen on Jungle Fury. It's like, oh, I'm gonna morph. Let me put on some sunglasses. I'm gonna just touch a button and morph. I'm just like lame.
That's fair. That is fair. The sunglass morpher was not the best. RJ's wrist morpher was a lot cooler.
Definitely. RJ was just the coolest all around. All right. Number 7. At number 7, I have Dino Thunder. So just the fact that we've
Okay.
talked about Dino Thunder, I feel like a couple of times already, you know, would kind of self-explain why it's at number 7 for me. Like I said earlier, it's a solid season. You've got the nostalgia factor, but you also have like some new vibes because that's the only the second team to have a team of 3, and then they wound up with 5. I think they were the first ones to have a mentor ranger, if I'm not mistaken, to have a mentor become a ranger. I want to say Dino Thunder was
Yeah.
first. Tommy was
I
the
think
first
so.
one. Tommy Glazers, congratulations.
We're not counting Ninja Storm.
Who?
Cam.
No, Cam wasn't mentor.
The samurai Cam, the green samurai ranger from Ninja Storm. I mean, I don't think he was really the mentor. I mean, his
No,
dad, who was the hamster, was more of the mentor.
he's more like Alpha 5 position.
Yeah. It's like if Alpha 5 was able to morph.
Yes, pretty much, which would be
His dad asked.
awesome.
Oh my god, could you imagine Alpha becoming a Power Ranger and be like, right, it's morphing time!
I'm actually surprised they haven't done that yet.
I would love to see that, to be fair.
That would be awesome to see for sure. So yeah, I pretty much already talked about Dino Thunder already, so no need to get into that.
Mhm.
So Candy, what is your
Wasn't it?
number 7?
I'm going with Ninja Storm.
Ninja Storm.
Okay.
Yep. I just like the
Yes.
idea, like, we didn't choose you as Power Rangers. You were late and you're all that's left, so here you go. Here's your morphers.
Is that what
It's
happened?
like the
Yeah, because it pretty much got wiped.
and everyone that got like taken or were vanished because of Oh God, I keep forgetting the villain's name, but he was like related, but he was like brothers with the hamster mentor. Because I keep forgetting
Lothor.
his name. And I keep
Lothor.
forgetting. Yeah, Horthor. Then the hamster that was like the hamster's brother.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that back in time episode was excellent when Cam went back in time and met his mom and had to fight his dad's best friend. That was
Lord Uncle.
oh, his uncle. Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
Cam is the best Green
Family
Ranger. I
versus
don't care what
family.
nobody say.
Yes. Yeah. Hands
He's
down.
amazing. Yeah, I would say he's like top tier Green Ranger material.
He's number one.
He's number two. He's number two.
Like, and also the fact that it's like you didn't get a full team until it's like you only start with 3 and like you build your team over time. You know, because then you had like Thunder Red and Thunder Blue. Then you had your red, blue, and yellow, and yeah, your samurai green. So like everyone, like you had a team together, but everyone's powers were like slightly different or coming from a different place.
They were not Thunder Red and Thunder Blue. Okay, they were Crimson and Navy.
Which I didn't like. I didn't like it regardless because we already had a red and a blue, and calling it a different shade of the same color doesn't necessarily make me feel better. Like I needed you to be a completely different. There's so many colors to choose from, and you chose a variation. You chose a different hue of the colors we already had. And also, I've grown accustomed to it, so I've kind of adopted it. But I always kind of had a problem with female Blue Rangers having sky blue or light blue instead of just a regular blue. Because imagine that Ninja Storm suit if it was an actual like a darker shade of blue would have been tough. I love the Ninja Storm suits. They are probably top
They were
five.
really slick designs.
They're top 5 for me.
There was very good design suits.
Yeah.
And I was just always like when the little mentor hamster giving like wisdom. It's just like you're a little hamster. It's like I'm trying to take you seriously, but you're a hamster right now. I know you're not actually a hamster. Eventually, you'll be back into your human form, but it's hard to take you seriously.
I can take a hamster
Especially-
more serious than a floating head.
There were episodes in which he was actually like in a hamster wheel. Okay, it was like odd.
Bro needed some
At least it's
exercise.
floating like a head wheel or something.
No, the head was just in a tube. And then we don't even know if the head was solid inside the tube or not.
No, it's not. It's a projection because he's an interdimensional being. Because he's in like a totally different dimension, and he's in all or not. He's in all dimensions, and one dimension, and none dimensions. Because it's interdimensional.
So that means if somebody popped the tube, he's not going to be in it.
Because he's not actually in the tube. The tube is a connection to our dimension from wherever the fuck dimension he's in.
That's even
Where he's
worse
at,
because
I
you're
don't know.
not
He's
even
in
here.
another dimension.
You're not even here, bro. How you helping us? Or at least the
He's giving
hamster
us
is
a
here.
tube. Literally, he would just tell the Ranger.
Crazy shit that don't make no sense. And they just said, okay.
They were kids. Question it.
Why would you question it? It's like, listen, this is already crazy as it is. I get a morpher. I can morph into a suit and have superpowers. So at this point, nothing you tell me is going to sound batshit crazy anymore. I mean, for God's sakes, I just fought a big giant monster outside. It's like walking the streets of New York City. Nothing phases me.
Right. So, Ninja
It's
Storm.
like, don't question it. Yep. Number 7, Ninja Storm.
All
For
right.
me, at least.
All right. Dang, your number 7.
Lost Galaxy.
Okay.
Lost Galaxy was the first to bring in one of my favorite tropes, and that is the sentient Zords. For me, Zords that are alive are so much cooler than just machine Zord. So much cooler.
Agreed.
And then swords for Lost Galaxy was one of the coolest like sword designs for me. It was cool in its simplicity. I really loved the way it looked. The Magna Defender is one of the coolest extra rangers. Period. And also, like, I just really like the suit design was really nice. And then I will not lie, the hot factor of the Rangers definitely had a bit to play. Okay, because Maya and Leo, no words need to be spoken.
Just nod your head.
You know, every time anyone talks about hottest Rangers, Leo ripping his shirt off plays.
Oh yeah, and like you said, Maya was half naked the entire time. So the entire time, and then
That's
gave
when
her
they
some
were
boots.
playing Candi very hard.
And that helped elevate Lost Galaxy to a top 10 season across the board. So Yeah, across the board, because Candy got Lost Galaxy at number 10. All time list got him at number
Mhm.
10. I have him on my list. We haven't gotten there yet. And Dame got him on the
Oh,
list as well. So yeah, Galaxy. I think that's the first one that's on every single top 10 list. It's Lost Galaxy.
yep.
Wow.
Yep, yep, yep. So Lost Galaxy is the most solid season. Now, would I start somebody off with that season?
Probably not.
It's got some good stuff. It's got some great stuff, but the stuff around it isn't enough. So yeah, nah, I wouldn't start off with Lost Galaxy, but maybe let that be like the second or third one they get into, maybe. All right. So simple. Number 7 was Lost Galaxy. So let's drop down to number 7 on the all-time list, which is Dino Charge, season 1. So a
Hmm.
lot of the ones on the all-time list just separated the supers from the regulars. So Dino Charge, they're just talking about season 1, which to vouch for the all-time list. So the way Dino Charge started off, it was kind of refreshing because you're just coming off things like Samurai and Megaforce. So when you get into Dino Charge, their opening was really good. One of the honestly some of the best opening episodes in Power Rangers history. You have a team of 10 Rangers. We got our second Purple Ranger. It taught a lot of quality lessons, like real life lessons, like standing up for yourself when somebody is doubting you. But I mean genuinely doubting you and not giving you the time of day, or apparently fumbling around with your sexuality. Apparently, that was kind of slightly tossed in there a little bit, um, between green and black. Crazy enough, but we'll talk about that another day. The theme, uh, uh, such a great theme. Utilized the original Mighty Morphin theme. Um, didn't like the suits. Only reason why, um, well, I had Dino Charge higher, but I can understand why Dino Charge wouldn't be higher because I didn't really like the suit. So
I didn't even have Dino Charge on the list.
I'm not surprised.
I totally forgot about Dino Charge. Not gonna
I'm not
lie.
surprised. I'm not surprised. Not. It's
Like, and yeah, it did have a lot of good pieces, but for me, it had a good bunch of good pieces, but they didn't fit together.
I can see that. I can see that. Um, I Dino Charge is a personal favorite of mine, so I got it. I got it pretty high. Um, as a matter of fact, I may not know how to count. I don't. Okay. I might have lied to y'all. I think I got 11 on my list because I forgot I had added Cosmic Fury and Dino Fury, so I didn't push out everybody. So technically, RPM is not in my top 10, and Jungle Fury would be my 10. Mighty Morphin Season 1 would be my 9. Dino Thunder would be
You're
my
right.
8. And so technically, Lost Galaxy is my number 7. My
Just
bad.
lowered Mighty Morphin down. How could you? Like, I can't even.
See, no, we're gonna smooth past the Mighty Morphin because he's just wrong. We've already covered that.
So yes, Lost Galaxy. So
Oh.
me and Dane both had Lost Galaxy at number 7.
7.
Okay.
So we all agreed that Lost Galaxy is on the top 10.
Yeah, no
Lost
matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what. All right. Number 6 on the list. Mhm.
Oh, it was Dino Charge. Never mind. I was a dumbass.
Yeah, number 7. Yeah, number 7 on the all-time list is Dino Charge, season 1.
See, it didn't make sense to me, so I automatically erased it.
All right. Number 6 on my list is go up some. There you go. Number 6 on my list is Dino Charge. So
Are you sure?
yeah, I know. I'm sure because after this, it's the top 5, so I can actually see where it is from the top. So yes, Dino Charge is number 6 for me. Just explained. It's a very close and near and dear to my heart, mainly because it's the first Red Ranger that I genuinely liked as a character. Like there were cool Red Rangers before, and they were cool characters, but I actually liked Tyler as a character. I feel like he had that Yeah, I feel like he had really good duality. Like he was real happy and jaunty, real energetic, but he also had that Red Ranger angst on the other side of it because he had daddy issues, which is a Red Ranger trait, weirdly enough. So he had that. Yes, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Red Rangers always have daddy issues.
Call it daddy issues.
That's what it is. It's
No,
sorry,
Mental issues.
father. No, it's specifically the daddy issues specifically. Beast Morphers, it was him and his dad. Mm.
I guess Tommy kind of did. I think it was either Turbo or Zeo when he was red because he had like the whole half brother story arc going on.
Well, I don't know if we ever saw their parents.
And we never saw their dad. We never saw Tommy's parents, period. At least there was like one episode in Mighty Morphin, you got to at least meet like everyone's parents, but not Tommy's. Like he might as well have been a freaking orphan.
Yep. Nick from
And then
Mystic Force.
randomly, I think in Turbo or Zeo,
Mhm.
randomly in Turbo or Zeo, like he had a older half brother show up.
Yep. Mac from Operation Overdrive. It's a good chunk of Red Rangers that have daddy issues. Fucking Scott from RPM, I think. Daddy issues. Daddy issues. So
did Jack have a father? Of course he had a father.
he was a criminal. He came off the streets. He had no parents. So that's what they gave him. But yeah, Tyler's the first Red Ranger I genuinely liked. Dino Charge gave us our very first African American Pink Ranger. The fact that it even took that long is kind of disrespectful. But again, conversation for another day. I think she did a really good job. I'm not saying that just because she was black, but I really think she brought a lot of the pink power, and she was definitely on the side of the more attitude having Pink Rangers, like a Jen or a Cassie type, where it's like a little more on a tomboy side, got a little bit of mouth to her, but when they get all dolled up, you like, oh snap, you look good. Like, yeah, I'm a Pink Ranger, of course I look good. But anyway, yeah, Dino Charge, my number 6.
But my number 6 would be Power Rangers in Space.
I was hoping I wouldn't hear that on the top 10 at all, but okay.
What?
Like you had the Cycle Rangers, like that was pretty cool. The idea of like Rangers from other parts of the galaxy, like, hey guys, Earth isn't the only planet that has Rangers. The death of Zordon, one of the most pinnacle moments, I think, in Power Ranger history.
Even though it didn't matter.
Although I think he missed a spot.
Yeah, that's what it was. He missed a spot, and that's why they were still evil in Lost Galaxy. You got to be thorough when you're killing somebody.
Yep. And then you got a Ranger thirsting for a Ranger's sister who's also evil too.
But she was hot. She was hot, understandable.
I will continue.
There was just a lot. There was some good drama in that season in general. Just like a lot of good, solid storytelling. Although the Zords leave more to be desired. And also, I kind of like the morphing sequence because I like the idea. It's like, hold on, let me put any passcode to morph so no one else can, when they take my morpher, can morph as well. Like, there was like some good security behind those morphers.
If you think punching in a code is good security, your morpher would have got snatched so many times.
Not only that, but like, do you understand how bad it would be if you were to like forget the code as you're attempting to morph?
Let me call Alpha to reset my password. What's my password again?
And does it work like a phone if you like put in, the wrong code 5 times, does it lock you out?
Imagine you got to save the city and you locked out of your morpher. I can see Tommy doing that. I want you to imagine if Mighty Morphin had to put in a passcode before they morphed. How many times is Tommy getting locked out of his morpher, bro? How many episodes is going to revolve around us trying to figure out Tommy's password? Damn it, Tommy. We getting beat up. Where's the Dragon Zord? Hold on.
Technically speaking, Tommy might be able to do it specifically because it had to do with him being a Power Ranger because he memorized that fucking scale to summon the Dragon Zord.
That's true.
I don't even think he played.
Tones. He can't focus on the numbers. He has to focus on the tones.
Learn how to play that flute. Fucking trumpet. Bro.
Synthesizer, to be exact.
Even worse. That's nowhere near it.
Hey.
Had to be there.
Did it sound nice? Yes. But all I'm saying is, You're gonna play your dagger like a flute. It should sound like a flute. So as in space, number 6, I
Number
think
6 in space.
I'm okay with
It's
that.
Rocket.
I am not, but my hate for In Space will forever be there.
I can't believe you just
Your
messed
hate
up.
is like is hatred for Tommy. So
Yeah, it's exactly the same because
Yeah.
space is pretty much one of the few seasons that I saw when I was doing the research that was almost always top 5. And the
That's
fact that
fine.
you don't have it in your top 10 is insane.
I don't have it in my top.
what? Like bottom 30?
Yeah,
We should have
I
did a top
honestly
15.
no. Actually, I will take that back. In Space is still widely better than Samurai and Megaforce. I will at least say that.
That's not really saying much, but okay.
It's still low. I didn't say it was high. It's just better than them.
That's I can't believe you have so many seasons above space. Space is one of the few seasons that actually had a storyline, and then it had the subplot that was going on in the middle. Like it was very little filler in space. It was meant to be darker and more grittier, and it was the first time they really leaned into it. It wasn't as exciting.
And it was the season, you could say it was the season that saved Power Rangers because that was the season that was supposed to end it. And there was supposed to be no more. And then it did so well. The network's like, we want more Power Rangers. It's like, here's Lost Galaxy. That would make sense.
It had pivotal moments. Like the only I don't see enough flawed with it to knock it out of anybody's top 10. You don't like the Zords? Fine.
Garbage suits, garbage Zords, boring, and also I didn't think about it until she brought it up. But yes, passcode morpher.
I like the idea of the passcode.
Okay. I just now I'm
The
disappointed.
weapons, I think the weapons were cool.
Space is a revolutionary season for Power Rangers. It allowed us to see for the first time what would Power Rangers be like if it was in a darker world, and we loved it. They gave us the Psycho Rangers, which is seen as all of us. They gave us Psycho Rangers, and Psycho Rangers. Nobody
Yes,
would disagree is probably the best villain
I can agree.
in Power Rangers history. Like we should have got more of them, to be honest with you.
I wish we did.
Honestly, the Psycho Rangers would be the only reason I would watch In Space.
Astronomer also did an excellent job with her story arc and her progression as she started to come to. Then she got genuinely brainwashed, changed her wigs up, which, come on. This is probably top to bottom, some of the best villains we've had in any Power Rangers. Yes. Astronomer, Ecliptor, Psycho Rangers. Yes. Who? Tell me who.
Correct. Immediately. Daishi.
But they're all from different seasons, though. I'm talking about give me a season that has the caliber of villains across the board that In Space does. Big bad generals, monsters of the week. Space did the thing with the villains.
Okay, that will
Dark
concede
Spectre.
Dark Spectre was in there.
The United Empire of Evil.
Yes.
Evil banded together just to take out Rangers.
The first time Rangers went to space, because the Aquatar Rangers came down here. We didn't follow them up there.
Yeah, we're going up to them. Yeah.
I do not particularly care about space, so that is not a plus for me.
It's just how revolutionary space was.
And it had a really good theme song too.
Yes.
I honestly don't remember In Space's theme song.
Set controls to
space and then go battle, and then we go battle.
Yeah, go fight.
Yeah, that's fair. To bring it on my list, it's fair.
I feel like for me, this is probably the first. That's you saying space is not a top 10 is probably the most controversial thing I've heard thus far.
I'm pretty sure me hating In Space is incredibly rare. I'm pretty sure most people don't In Space, but I hate it. Sorry, not sorry.
Very well. Well, then, what is your number 6, Mr. Damien?
Ninja Storm.
Instant Mentor.
Ninja Storm was just one. It was really fun. And you guys don't like the colors, but the Thunder Rangers were like some of my all-time favorite Rangers. They were so cool to me.
They're fan favorites.
Of course, Cam was honestly he's one of the best Rangers. Period. I'm just go ahead and say that. Like he's so fucking cool. Zords were pretty cool. I loved how the main Zord actually had a form which it like shrunk and became not really a Zord, but like it was a really cool concept that I like. And then also Ferris wheel lion because never explained, but I don't even know if I really want it explained. Just saying.
Well, I kind of hope not.
But what may or may not happen when the Ferris wheel becomes a lion's horse. But no, one of the best suit designs. Absolutely immaculate design. Weapon design was pretty good. And then also the story, especially, Cam going back in time was just fucking amazing. I love Ninja Storm.
I think one thing we didn't really touch on with Ninja Storm is that I think they may have been the first team that actually had powers outside of the suit, like actual abilities, not like your enhanced strength and stuff like that. But they actually had like the wind and the
Elemental.
yeah, which I thought was really cool.
Red Ranger wasn't fire element. I know that a lot of people love Red and Fire, but I actually like that they went with something different.
Wind, water, and earth, if I'm not mistaken. And then the Thunder Rangers were like electricity, I guess.
Yeah. Thunder and lightning, pretty much.
And I like how they carried that into Dino Thunder. And by the way, like when I went on my rewatch, when I went through every single season, top to bottom, this was before I knew of all the crossovers. Like I knew about Forever Red, I knew about some of them, but I didn't know it was a thing every season. So now I was always thinking, I was like, it would be cool if Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder did a crossover, and then Dino Thunder came, and I was like, are you shitting me? Then the Ninja team was kind of evil, and they were hot, and everybody was fighting and using their regular people powers before they morphed, and it was fantastic. So great.
Ranger on Ranger violence.
Love it. More of it. More Ranger on Ranger violence. More Ranger on Ranger crime. All right.
Rangers kicking each other's ass since 1993.
Yes, sir. All right.
I need another Ranger to tear other Rangers out of their Zord, okay? I need that to come back.
Seriously. But it was done so well. I don't think you can really recreate that, like, moment. I mean, it's like one of those things like, yeah, I'd be there. I really did. Oh.
It was. All right. So.
People's choice.
The people's choice at number 6. So, I don't know if I said earlier, but only one season of Mighty Morphin made it into the top 10. And that season is season 3, which...
Oh, the Ninja season.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers season 3. Yes, that's the one when they had the Ninjetti.
I mean...
If you're going to choose a Mighty Morphin season, I feel like...
I wouldn't say 3.
I would have gone with like 1 or 2.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah.
No, I was baffled as I was going through it, and I saw how Mighty Morphin season 3 was usually above 2 and 1, and 1 is actually like pretty low, which I thought was insane. Like if it's not top 10, cool, but it was very low on some lists, and I ain't gonna lie, some of the lists, some of the lists were, in my opinion, were kind of bad, but that's why it's an average. So yeah, Mighty Morphin season 3, number 6, just outside the top 5. Yeah, I'm not with it either. I definitely would have put 1 or even 2 because I feel like even 2 had a nice vibe to it. Even with the switch between the Rangers, it was something about it. Season 3 just felt like it didn't do much for me.
That's making me wonder if my memory of season 3 isn't all that great because I'm just like I don't remember that being all that hot.
It's like season 3. That was like the season of the Ninjetti, and that was the season where we had the change of pink, the changing hands of the pink. Like that was like a little later in season 3.
Yeah.
And that was really the only memorable moment in season 3. Unless was Rita repulsed? No, I think Rita and Lord Zed got married in season 2.
Season 3 is when Rito, her brother, showed up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Rita showed up in season 3. And yeah, because the only really memorable thing about season 3 was the changing of Pink, in my opinion.
And they made Godar extra.
The ninja suits.
Yeah, they made Godar extra bumbly in season 3 with him and Rito's little romance. That was kind of like odd because season 1 Godar was a dog. Like he was a literal monster,
Yeah.
like legendary. But
Oh, you know, I just remembered what 3. Oh, freaking! I think Golder and Rito lost their memories, and they were hanging out with Bulk and Skull cleaning out their apartment.
oh yeah,
That
and
little comedic nugget.
yeah, the season 3 and number 6 is wild
It's gotten worse. I do not agree.
at all. Terrible, terrible. Whatever. Moving on. All right, top 5.
Yep.
Here we go. Big 5.
Number 5, I got Dino Fury. So, being the new kids on the block, I did notice, like I said, a lot of the lists I saw didn't have Beast Morphers or Dino Fury Cosmic Fury. They stopped at Ninja Steel. And I did notice that a lot of the newer seasons don't get as high of a ranking because they're newbies. You know, they like to give deference to the older seasons, and that's why if you notice, most of the top 10 is from Mighty Morphin Zordon post Zordon era. So, and it's a little bit of Disney sprinkled in there, but that's it. But I really feel like Dino Fury gave us something fresh without deviating from why we love Power Rangers in the first place. I think it was a very good test run of what we're about to get into the next generation. And I think it continued with Cosmic Fury as well, which I'm using as separate rankings. But Dino Fury, I really think gave us something good. The suits, love the Dino Fury suits. Top 5 suits in my opinion. I don't know if I like the concept of everybody having like, I know it's like a new thing, but it's kind of like a battleizer. How everybody had like a battleizer, they had like the keys and stuff, and everybody could just use any key. I don't know if I really like that idea. I like the concept of everybody having their own power ups. I think Wild Force kind of did it a little bit, but other than that, I think the Dino Fury Zords were kind of cool. They looked a little Lego-y, but aside from that, because it looked like they had like the top of the head Lego pieces, like on the like the tail and the head and stuff.
Heavily disagree. The Dino Fury Zords was probably the weakest part of Dino Fury.
It was.
I kind of liked them.
Easy.
They weren't the best Zords by a long shot, but they were mid. I don't think they were terrible. I don't think they were bad. I think once you do dinosaurs 1,000 times, it gets hard to make it look different after a while. Like
Red Tyrannosaurus, yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, Dino Fury is my number 5.
Well, my number 5 is Dino Thunder.
Okay.
A good pick.
Yep. I mean, like, it definitely had the nostalgia factor with Tommy. Like, you're bringing in a veteran ranger to be the mentor, and then and then join the team eventually himself. You know, once he gets that black Dino gem. And also like the fact like that relationship between him and Trent, like when after Trent finished his white evil story arc, and Trent had like a lot of that like guilt, and it's like, listen, Tommy's like, yo, I've been there. Like there was like that nice like moment where it's like, this happens, you can't blame yourself.
And then you turn into an evil ranger and attempt to kill all the other rangers. It happens.
Yeah. It happens all the time. Little do you know. It's literally all the time.
Right.
Yeah. Yo, who is in the evil Power Ranger support group? You got Tommy, you got Cat, you got the Thunder Rangers, you got
Trent. Like he didn't want to go. He was unwilling, and Kira forced him to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely was forced.
Definitely. The fact that the villains are like school administrators in their high school.
The principal.
I feel like there's some the principal and vice principals out to get us. They're not your people. No, literally, they're again. Is there?
First Evil Dead.
Was it?
Yeah, I think that was the first time they did that concept. Yep,
They
the
kind of
first
went back to the high school concept, but at least they kept it in high school. Like your villains are in the school out with you, so you don't have to explain away why you're missing. You're fighting your principal.
time. Exactly. They also had really good character development in Dino Thunder. Like,
They very much did because they were all very different people trying to work together. We got personality clashes. It's just learning and growing. I mean, telling everyone you're never too old.
Ethan, a nerd, and I really like this about what they did with his character. They made him a nerd, but not like the downtrodden, meek nerd like they kind of did Billy in the beginning. Like he was a genius.
Cool guy.
Yeah, he would defend himself with his words. Like, and he had like a little bit of a smart mouth too, which got him into a little bit of trouble when he had to fight a bully as a result, which he wound up talking his way out of on like some Power Ranger shit, which I think was a really good thing to show that you ain't always got to settle it with your fist. Like, as a matter of fact, you can help your enemy and improve them, and in improving them, you're improving yourself. That's a really deep concept that was introduced very early on in the Power Ranger universe. So,
Yeah, all very good points with that, and also too, one of the most ridiculous things to probably ever happen to Power Rangers, which is saying a lot because Power Rangers can get quite ridiculous. You have Tommy Oliver pretty much being a T-Rex in the face. Dinosaur unmorphed. Sorry, how does this man become a doctor again?
It was his first reaction too. Not, oh shit, it's a dinosaur. Yeah.
his first reaction was to roundhouse kick a dinosaur in the face.
And him for the dinosaur being stunned so he could run into his car and drive away.
Exactly. Like I said, like, say what you want about Tommy, but that boy can throw hands.
Yeah. Listen, Tom, you might not be too old to be a Power Ranger, but you might have been a Power Ranger a little too long if that's your first reaction. When you see a giant dinosaur staring at you.
Even a giant dinosaur, it was a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yo, roundhouse
There was
kick.
no-
It wasn't.
Kick a T-Rex.
He literally got into the stance, pop, and then spun and threw a kick.
Yep.
Yo, powered up first.
It wasn't even morph. He didn't even have a Dino Gem yet. It was just pure Tommy at that point. Plus, he had his Mighty Morphin Morpher, his Zeomorpher, his Turbo Morpher on him. I don't know. Maybe he had a little juice in there.
Nah, he just powered up physically. He just went Super Saiyan and then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tommy most likely could have fought his way out of most situations unmorphed. He just liked morphing.
Yes.
Well, if you had the choice, wouldn't you?
It's morphin' time.
Exactly.
It's morphin' time all the time.
So,
If it's on the clock, it's morphing time.
You're awake, it's morphin' time. All right. Dane, your number 5?
And my 5 is also Dino Fury.
Sweet.
I really enjoyed Dino Fury, which was a surprise because honestly, after Samurai, I was like, no, it wasn't just Samurai. It was Samurai and then Megaforce, and then it just kept going downhill. I honestly had pretty much dropped Power Rangers, except I came back for Dino Charge, but like I said, that felt all over the place to me. But Dino Fury actually surprised me and was really good. Like a really concise, good story. Suit design is nice. Like I said, the Zords brought it down. But honestly, and I am of the opposite opinion. I like the separate powers, like keys thing. I did enjoy that. Now, I do kind of agree with you where it would have been cool if specific Rangers had specific ones that they could use. But other than that, I think I pretty much agree on most points. Like, I really like Dino. And of course, Void Knight, who reminded me so much of Korag and made me so happy.
Yes. So the dinos went out for the number 5 spot when it comes to us. But when it comes to the all-time list, I don't think anybody's gonna be mad at this one. For the all-time list, they got Ninja Storm at number 5.
Yeah, fair.
I don't think anybody's got a problem with that. We talked a lot about Ninja Storm already. So
is that the next one? That's all.
Yeah, because you don't have space on yours,
and it will never be on mine.
Yeah, it should have been space, but it's fine. It's fine.
So I think we'll all agree on Lost Galaxy and Ninja Storm so far.
Yes, yes. And looking at the top, nope, nope. It's still nope. Okay, we'll keep going. So number
Okay.
4, I got Cosmic Fury. Now, the only reason why Cosmic Fury is not higher is because there was not more episodes. And also the Zords were garbage. And I also didn't like how anybody just drove any fucking Zord, regardless of color.
Yeah,
I could understand if it was the orange Zord or a color that y'all didn't have, but
they had the
no.
Orange Ranger.
After a while, yes. But like early on when they were just riding around in them and yeah, I didn't like that. But aside from that, I actually, once you see them in the suits, no, I didn't like the padding and the fake muscles, but the concept of the suit designs, excellent. Very simple. I like simpler cuts
Mhm.
when it comes to the suits. I don't like too much going on, so I really like them. Uh, Good character development for just 10 episodes, even if you don't even count Dino Fury. From episode 1 of Cosmic Fury to episode 10, you can see character development among the many characters that they have on the team at this point, which is crazy because that's something that Power Rangers as a whole has struggled with. You put too many Rangers in one season, somebody's not going to get enough time, or you're going to spend too much time focusing on the Red Ranger or Red and Pink's relationship, or you're focusing too much on the villains or what have you. But I think Cosmic Fury spread it around. Like you had Javi losing his arm, you had Izzy having to deal with Fern
Yeah.
being there and being in danger constantly, and her having to get over that. You have Amelia taking on the leadership role of becoming Red. You got Ion and his depression and his grief. Like there's a lot of meat in Cosmic Fury, and they could have did so much more if they had more episodes. But I get it; they barely got Cosmic Fury as it were. So for what it was, top 5.
Cosmic Fury is not on my list. Um, I will say it's good, or the little bits and pieces, because I don't think I've completely finished it. But I don't like the suit design. I'm gonna be honest.
Universe.
Zords, I'd honestly be surprised if anyone could like those Zords. I'm just gonna be honest. But storyline wise, I enjoyed it. Or the pieces I've seen, I enjoy those. Nostalgia, I enjoy that, and then I do like the transition from pink to red with Amelia. But it didn't meet my list because for me, suit design and Zord design is really huge.
Got you. Candy, you're number 4.
I'm actually going to agree with you on this one, Cosmic Fury.
Really?
You know, I mean, because like you said, like it had good storytelling and you had a lot of old meaning new, and it works. Especially I love Billy, like being like a bit of a mentor to a younger generation. Like it's something I've always wanted to see. Now I finally like that. Lord Zed coming back. Seeing Lord Zed again, just having that little bit of nostalgia, but not like force fed it to you, like in a way that works within the storyline. Like it makes sense.
Yes, I'm happy that the OG agrees with me because if anybody's not going to like the new stuff, it's going to be you guys' generation. So the fact that you guys are pretty much, from what I've been hearing, have been signing off on Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury as being quality Power Ranger seasons is really nice. It's really nice to hear. So
Like honestly, it felt like a love letter to Mighty Morphin. Like you could tell, like with Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury, it was written by people who had a love for like maybe the original.
yeah, without photocopying it.
Exactly.
And also, and this is crazy that we kind of didn't touch on this a little bit. Dino Fury is the first season to give us 2 Black Rangers in one season.
I got so confused for a second.
2 African American Rangers.
Your word for it.
No, yeah, because Zato, the actor that plays Zato is half black, half Asian. Then, of course, actor that plays Ion is black. And yeah, this is the first time we've gotten 2 black people on Power Rangers at once. And it was crazy when I first heard that. And I was like, is it? And then you go back through the roster and you're like, yeah, you get one. And sometimes you may not get one. So, yeah, I was like, oh, that's fantastic. And then we also got our first black Sixth Ranger as well, which again, I didn't notice. We've gotten white, we've gotten Asian, we've had women before. I guess I never noticed that there wasn't a black one. But now we got Ion. So, yeah, Dino Fury,
Yeah.
Cosmic Fury
And
was
also,
a great generation.
and I guess you could probably say with Cosmic Fury, like, I don't know, someone can always look this up. I could be wrong, but you could turn around and say Cosmic Fury, you could say was maybe like the first team that had two Power Ranger couples at that point. Because then Fern became a Ranger, and she's Izzy's girlfriend, and then you have Ollie and Amelia.
Some would argue that Tanya and Adam were a couple in Zio. Like a little low key,
They
like,
were
yeah.
vibing with each other, but they never really went out on a date.
Say,
They never called each other boyfriend and girlfriend. They never cemented and announced their relationship, if there
Yeah.
was one.
Because like if we were to count all the tiptoeing around a relationship,
Yeah, there's more tiptoeing than they're like your mom boo.
Are we talking about only Ranger couples, or are we talking about Rangers who also had girlfriend or boyfriend?
Ranger couples, like
Okay.
Power Rangers that went out with each other.
Because technically, Beast Morphers had Zoe, what's his name? Gold. And then you had Ravi and what's her name? But she turned into a villain though, and Roxy. And she was supposed to be a Ranger. But I guess technically, yeah, she wasn't one. Technically. But yeah, I think you're right. First time we got two or multiple Ranger couples was Dino Fury. Dino Fury.
Further and be like, it's the first Power Ranger same sex couple.
Oh no, it
is. Izzy and Fern being on the same team. Yeah, being on the same team together, fighting alongside each other.
Well, they're the first same sex couple, period, in Power Rangers.
Then you also top it and all off in Cosmic Fury. You're giving Fern a suit,
which was excellent. Excellent. We've been clamoring for an Orange Ranger since we saw Boom in his dream in SPD. So the fact that we finally got it in Dino Fury.
Oh, that was incredibly stupid. But I
agree with you. A lot of people in the fandom count that as being our first Orange Ranger, just like how they count what's her name, Red from SPD, as being our first Red female Ranger, even though I really don't count Boom because Boom was literally having a dream. I could see if
no.
Even if the dream had lasted the entire episode, I might have gave it to him. But it was literally just a quick sequence. Like, no, can't give you that. Sorry. All right, your number 4?
Time Force.
Okay.
I love Time Force. For me, didn't particularly. Oh no. So Time Force, I didn't particularly like the Zord, but I really liked how the Zord had multiple forms. I thought that was a really cool concept. Loved the time travel idea. Loved the relationship between the main villains and the Pink Ranger. Loved the Red Ranger, who like wasn't really supposed to be a part of the team, but ends up as part of the team. And then has one of my favorite Pink Rangers, because I honestly, for me, Pink Ranger, I usually prefer Yellow Ranger, but like Jen was so cool.
The GOAT.
One of the greatest leaders. Love the suit design, and also the Quantum Rangers. Fucking love him, especially his introduction, which was absolutely crazy. Yeah, Time Force will always be up there for me.
Time Force is one of my personal favorites, and like that's Time Force. I would give as the season that made me a Power Ranger fan. I have it on VHS. I remember watching that first episode on repeat, and not to mention the Red Ranger's name was West. So different whole names, but still, West was, I get called West. Nobody calls me by my actual name. So that kind of got me into it. And then you had Jen, who was one of the first instances of me realizing I like powerful women. Cause man, just how she be yelling at you and just wag her finger in your face and get to chewing you out. And then when they did that original like wardrobe change, and she had on the skirt with the leather jacket with the boots. So
It was in the 90s.
Time Force was early 2000, 2001.
Yeah, but the fashion was still very 90s still at that point.
That was when they were kind of moving away to the early 2000s fashion. That was just a wild fashion time. But they were, yeah, Time Force was a personal favorite. And then you got the time travel aspect. I wish they'd have did more with the time travel aspect of it, but and I also wish they would have gave more screen time to the other three. We know who the other three are. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
we love Wes, we love Jen, we love Eric, but I want to see some more Katie. I want to learn more about Trip. Lucas was boring and disappointing.
I didn't like Trip. I'm gonna be honest.
I can see how you wouldn't like him, but he definitely gave a lot to the team in terms of like the heart, and also that little racist episode with Eric. That was heavy. That was heavy, digestible for a child to understand and take it into the real world and utilize the concept of just because you are different doesn't mean you're worse than me or doesn't mean that I'm better than you. And they did that by doing it with an alien that they love and a human
Mm.
that they don't know. So that made it easier to understand. But we don't know you because why are you pointing that gun at our mans like that? So it was really good execution. All right. So people's choice is RPM.
That's pretty hot.
I'm kind of surprised it'd be that high.
There are three. Like I said, the top five usually changes when I was looking at the list. The top five usually consisted of Space, Time Force, Dino Thunder, and Ninja Storm. Those were almost always in the top five, at the very least the top like seven. And then number five was usually interchangeable. It was a lot of time Mighty Morphin or SPD. But yeah, so RPM being at number four. All right, let's try to get through these last three. I think the last
Top
three,
three.
yeah, we pretty much
Yep.
talked about these all already, so should be easy.
I know one of my top three is completely random and most likely will never be on any other list, but I don't give a damn.
It's always one person that fucks up the list.
Just throwing the curveballs.
All right, my number three is Ninja Storm. Like I said earlier, it's probably one of the most nostalgic seasons for me, if not the most nostalgic season. It was the season that it was the first season that I remember watching on TV. Like all the way through from start to finish, the theme song just does something to the chemicals in my brain. Like you said, the suits, storyline, Lothor was one of the first and one of the scariest villains that we've encountered. And they continued that trend when they got to Mesagog and Dino Thunder. But Ninja Storm was such a good season. And I just got nothing but good things to say about it, really. Candy, your number three?
My number three is Time Force.
That's a better
Yeah.
spot. That's a better spot.
I mean, we already talked about Time Force, and we all, and we already you pointed out, like, guys pointed out how, like, solid it is, but I, like, want to take a little one step further and also point out the fact that, like, Time Force, when watching Time Force, because, we know Power Rangers is a kid's show. It's for kids. But Time Force didn't feel like a kid's show.
Probably one of the first ones.
Yeah, and also you had that, like, you had all the drama. Like, it felt like I was watching more of a teenage drama than a children's show at that point.
Yeah, like the drama of, and then the complication of starting off the show with Jen watching her fiance get murked up, like, which was like, what the fuck? Like if you from Mighty Morphin to now, if you watch it in order, this part right here would have you spinning, and it had me spinning, and then you got to go back in time and then you meet somebody who looks exactly like your fiance who you just saw die probably 24 hours ago.
Not only that, he was the ancestor of her fiance.
Yeah.
Had to be. They look exactly alike. And then he acts
It's like,
nothing
yeah,
like
hey, I'm from the year 3000. Your great great grandson's dead.
that's some heavy stuff to have to
Yeah.
deal with. And then they work through it pretty well. Watching it, you would be concerned that they're not going to do something like that correctly because it's a kids show. It's just like, oh, you look like my dead fiance. That's fine. We move past it because things just aren't explained. But they actually had her work through it. Like you saw her starting to kind of give an okay, cool. And then, but once you saw her finally starting to open up, that's when they brought his punk ass back. And then he was a dick. They made him a dick. Right? Oh, this is so easy. We don't even love you. First of all, we don't know you. She knows you. We don't know you. And then you're gonna come out here like a dick and think we're gonna want her to be with you? Nah, we're good. Thanks.
It's like, sorry, but your like great 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 grandfather is better than you
For sure. And he's rich.
for your fiance that you do.
But
Like so
once
much drama. Villains too weren't really monsters. They were mutants who who were mistreated by their own society in the future, which was like a whole other level because it's like we am on the right side here.
that, like I said, they did a really good job of kind of showing that concept, especially with Rancid, when you actually realized why he was being evil. You were kind of like, that was probably one of the first Power Ranger villains that you actually kind of agreed with or sympathized with.
Sympathy for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like, I get it. Okay, all right, okay, we
Yeah, it's like I can see where it comes from.
what you're doing is wrong.
Of course, kind of is the one that shows us like we can have Power Rangers get a little dark and still be good.
I think that
We can
whole
make our cheese spicy here.
yeah, that whole post Zordon era was darker. That's probably the darkest stretch of Power Rangers, that we have. From Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, who had demons, and they were, yeah, Time Force. It was all on the darker side, and I loved it. Favorite stretch of Power Rangers.
And wasn't Rancic's ability he could turn his bones into weapons?
Yeah, he just did a
Yeah.
thing where he hit it, and then a hilt popped out, and he would just
That's a pretty terrifying power.
yeah. Imagine you got to
Mhm.
fight a guy, and he just pulls the sword out of his leg. Dang, you're number 3.
Dino Thunder. Dino Thunder was the season I started off with. How I got introduced to Power Rangers. Huh?
Like how I said earlier.
I think definitely top 3 Zord designs for me. Like the Dinozords in Dino Thunder were easily the best Dinozords, period. I would die on that hill. Trent was definitely one of my favorite extra rangers. He was really, and also he redeemed the color white. Okay, because like I said, I loved Tommy when he was green, and then also I liked their forms. They didn't use them often, if I say, but where the spikes on the suits actually grew to be real spikes. That was so cool to me. Like that, I honestly wish more suit designs would have implications of a design like that. That was so cool and was not expected. I also like, again, the powers that weren't just in the suits, because that's something that's like really cool. Like, why wouldn't you get an extra power that you can use that isn't the suit? As you said, I always forget his name. The main villain of Dino Thunder was Terry.
That's a god.
Mezagov was honestly terrifying. Like he was, and then I believe his name was Cyrex. Also reminded me of Now of course this I didn't know Korag at the time, but like the cool cold ass knight who like would throw hands. I loved that. Because I was watching Dino Thunder on Jetix and pretty much all of the Power Ranger seasons were running, I didn't know who Tommy was while I was watching Dino Thunder because I was also watching Mighty Morphin. But Tommy, honestly, having him back was really cool. Didn't particularly care for him being black, but I did like his suit design. And the Dino Thunder morphers were so freaking cool to me.
Can't really remember what their morphers look like.
Basic wrist morphers, but each ranger had an individual face plate that had their dinosaur on it, and to morph,
Oh
you
yeah,
pretty much press the button, open the jaw, and then the morph sequence
Yeah.
was crazy.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, excellent morphic for sure. Okay, so people's choice for number three is Dino Thunder. Like this, this top three or five is to me is pretty self-explanatory. Like Dino Thunder at number three,
Yeah.
yeah. RPM number four, Ninja Storm number five, yeah. Like all very not just solid seasons, but good seasons, top to
Yeah.
bottom. Suits, Zords, storytelling, characters, even the acting in most of these is some of the best in Power Rangers. Like,
Like, yeah,
so yeah, it's pretty top to bottom with this. So yeah, Donald Thunder, number three.
mention just one.
Number two, I have In Space. Again, like all of my top, literally all of my say my top six are all like personal favorites. Like ones that I honestly are dear to my heart. But In Space, I feel like has a lot of logical aspects as to why it should be a top five. Like, yes, okay, the Zords are an acquired taste. The boring
And Astro Zord was garbage.
I like the Astros Megazord. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I did. I like the concept of a Megazord being blue. Because usually if you're gonna have a Megazord any color, if the colors aren't all together, it's probably gonna be red. So the fact that they gave us a blue Megazord, I kinda appreciate it, even if it wasn't the flashy. The boring aspect, I don't agree with the fact that it wasn't. Was it different from the previous seasons? Yes. Like, but I don't think it was any less entertaining. I think it was entertaining in a much different way. I say it was darker. They were focusing more on those kind of darker themes and concepts. Like, you got Andros trying to learn how to be a human. Then you have Ashley trying to take advantage of him with her short skirt and trying to, yeah, she was trying to seduce that. Oh, she's not trying. She did seduce that man. Man didn't know what he
That
was
for
doing.
sure.
Minis.
I lived through those days. I was like junior high and high school. We had the mini skirts with the leather jackets and the high heel boots and the shirts.
Yeah, like it was a good time for women, fashion wise, for sure. All right. Candy, what's your number two?
My number two's Dino Fury.
Oh, got it pretty high.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Dino Fury. Like I felt like if you weren't a Power Ranger fan and if someone showed you Power Ranger season that wasn't Mighty Morphin, I feel like Dino Fury is a good solid like you don't have to see Power Rangers like past Power Rangers to enjoy it. And even when they throw in the nostalgia stuff, it comes in and it's even still surprising. Like when Lord Zed's returning in Dino Fury, I literally had to pause and was like, "What?" Because his entrance and how he came and how they presented him and everything, I was just like, "Hold up, Lord Zed is what? Lord Zed is back and he's wreaking havoc again." Like, yo, y'all think Void King and Void Queen is bad. You don't know nothing until you got Lord Zed.
Classic OG thing to say.
Yeah,
First thing,
not where Lord Zed is fighting alongside the Power Rangers. If you told my like 7-year-old stuff, it's like 7 8-year-old kid who's watching Mind Morphin and be like, yo, one day Lord Zed's gonna fight along with the Rangers. I'd be like, you're lying. I don't believe you. Like, it's impossible, and it happens.
Took 30 years,
Like,
but
it was just like, yeah, like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
yeah.
Until I need to stab him in the back,
yeah,
you know. And Void Knight, like, he was hot. I was kind of
Wow.
thirsty for Void Knight. I'm not gonna lie.
I just want to point
he
out.
wasn't.
Like I'm all for talking about how hot Void Knight was, but I just want to point out that our OG put the two newest seasons in her top five. The two newest generations in her top
Yeah,
five, which I think is,
They were re- they're very well done.
but that's
it's a
good
good.
because yeah, exactly. It's
Mhm.
a good sign. It shows that we can cater to the new generation while still pleasing the older one. And I think Cosmic Fury and Dino Fury was that real experiment for the new generation to see if we would like it. We did across the board, and this shows it right here. Like I said, I think if I did new research with the new list that added Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury, there's no doubt in my mind that they would be top 10 on the all
It's gonna
time.
be up there.
So
Yeah. It's just like Dino Fury is just good storytelling all around, like how all the Rangers got their powers, like, you know. And then you had a mix of humans and aliens on the team. Also, you had like little different cultures going on. Just everyone had like each character had their own spotlight to shine. And you actually have parents. There were parental units around.
They were parents with character.
yes,
I know, like you had the one mom who knows that the kid's a Power Ranger, and then you have Pop Pop who knows Amelia's secret, and Pop Pop needs to be protected at all cost. I love Pop Pop. Like, like that was like everyone's grandpa. Like,
Hey, Pop-Up carried a baby through a fucking building that was coming down.
goaded for sure. Dane, number 2.
Mighty Morphin, first season. It's the OG. It is classic. It is amazing. There's nothing much else that can be said, okay? We've already talked about how Mighty Morphin is, just to disprove all of you who refuse to put it on your top 10.
Sorry, bro.
it got the party started.
Yeah, like we don't even gotta like wait. We already know MMPR is number 1
That you were wrong.
on our
We know you're
OGs.
wrong.
I'm not even worried about that. But before we officially make that a reality, number 2 on the all-time list is Time Force. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
solid, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So let's wrap this up. I knew this was gonna take a minute. All right, number 1. I obviously
This is where things.
yes. This is where we might spend like most of the time debating because one of us is not gonna like number 1. What's number 1 on the all-time list? And
I already know my answer is not correct, but I don't care.
oh yeah, we have. I haven't even heard yours. That is apparently, and you put it at number 1. That's going to be annoying. Okay, this is about to be fun. At number 1, I put Time Force. Time Force is my season. It's near and dear to my heart. I will probably never put anything over Time Force, and I'm just being real with you. Like even if I classify it as the best season, I'm gonna still put it at number 2 behind Time Force. I'm being real. So,
And Force was solid. Like, yeah.
and Time Force is also number 2 on the all-time list, so I'm not far off. Candi, you're number 1.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I kind of have season 1 and season 2. Yeah, I kind of have season 1 and season 2 like together on this one because I feel like you can't really start with season 2. You need 1 and 2 together because they're very much interlinked.
Are you doing the whole of season 2 or just the first half before they switch?
Like probably the first half before the switch. Tommy
Either one
becomes a
point.
White Ranger. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Clearly a sane individual.
Yes.
Orphan anywhere below top.
Yeah, like it's Mighty Morphin. It has it all. I mean, first of all, it's the Power Rangers that literally got the party started. I mean, you had the rockin' theme song. I mean, the villains were a little quirky, but it was very revolutionary for its time. It's like one of those things. It's like you had to be there. Like if you were, 8 years old, seeing this for the first time. I mean, it's like it gets cemented. Not to mention that freaking Green with Evil story arc. Oh my god! As like a 7, 8-year-old, that was like the most like intense like 5 weeks my life. It was like because the story arc was 5 episodes long. You had to wait next week to find out what happened. And each episode, you saw Tommy kicking the Rangers' ass. Tommy pulls him out of the Megazord. Tommy's beating the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy's being mean to Kimberly until finally Jason destroys the sword of evil, and Tommy joins the team and be like the coolest. I mean, sorry, the Green Ranger powers, the whole Green Ranger concept. It's like the coolest thing ever. Mecha Godzilla. You had a dagger flute, synthesized trombone, and then just the Green Ranger like suit, like its design was kick ass compared to the others.
Yep.
It was the shield. That's all it was.
No, the dragon design of the helmet was also really cool.
And his morph wasn't just dragon; it was Dragon Zord. Like he was like integrated his morph with his Zord.
Whatever y'all say.
That Zord had some attitude. Those words were amazing. And also, too, not only and also with Mighty Warfare, it wasn't just the Power Rangers that were memorable. Also, the side characters, like Bulk and Skull. You had Ernie at the juice bar. You know, you had Miss Haggerty and the principal. I mean, there was like more, like the environment itself was memorable along with the characters. Like Angel Grove.
I mean, it's some good points. Some good points for sure. Should MMPR still be number one? No. Should it
Yes.
be should it be top five? Perhaps. Perhaps. But should it be number one? Is it the best season of Power Rangers ever? No.
It's debatable. It is.
It's debatable at best. At best, it is debatable. But that's all it is. That's all it is.
To my inner child, it is the best season. There is the best of the best of the best seasons ever.
All right. Well, I want to hear what Dame got for his number one. See how bad it is.
So it does not make sense, but for me, it is the best. It is Wild Force. I don't care what anyone says. I absolutely love Wild Force. Wild Force has suit design, best Zord design. Weapon design was okay. I actually loved each and all of the characters, even though I can't remember her name. The White Ranger of Wild Force kind of got left in the background. But Danny was really cool because he was the gentle giant, which I don't think has been brought back. Merrick is probably my all-time favorite Ranger. I love the Xenaku storyline. I love the Lunar Wolf, period. He summons his Zord with a pull cue. He has a wolf, a hammerhead shark, and a crocodile as his Zords. Wild Force also has the sentient Zords, which is something I love. It also has Cole, who earns being a leader because he was not the original leader of the team. I love the bike design, and Wild Force actually has one of the few battleizer designs that I actually love.
Okay. I would say Wild Force is a classic middle of the road season. And I use Wild Force as a way to determine whether or not I think a season is good. If you're better than Wild Force, you're a good season. If you're worse than Wild Force, you're a bad season. Like Wild Force for me is like literally middle of the pack. Like 15, like literally like 14, 15, 16 for me.
The only thing I really remember of Wild Force is Forever Red.
Yes.
Yes, the best fucking cross.
I would say it probably had like one of the best Power Ranger like team up episodes of all time. It's the only thing that is memorable of it for me.
Yeah, Forever Red is. If we did a ranking of the crossovers, it would probably be Forever Red number one across the board. Like even for the all time, it's not nothing, bro. For me, the only one that made me feel like, yo, I can't believe they actually did it, aside from when they crossed over Dino Thunder and Ninja Storm, was Forever Red because we got to Wild Force. And again, I'm thinking, you know what would be cool if they got all the Red Rangers. Then of course, you know, you give TJ that Turbo Red because Tommy still has that Zeo Red, so that way we still get our Black Red Ranger. And then of course you still got Jason for his MMPR, but that would be so dope. Man, when they all just started popping up, I was like, they not gonna do it. They not. And then who shows up at the end? The GOAT Red.
The OG himself.
The GOAT Red.
OG.
Jason with his leather jacket.
I just felt bad for Rocky left out because he was like the Red Ninja Ranger, and
no, perfect
Rocky
10.
gets no love.
No, perfect 10. We got the perfect 10. We got our Aquatar. We're good. Rocky can go kick rocks.
Damn, I want to watch Forever Red again now. Honestly, it might be just one of the best Power Ranger episodes, period.
Yeah. Damn, how do you even rank all the episodes? Like,
I don't think that's possible.
Somebody,
sure. Somebody without a job.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you're gonna just rank the best Power Ranger episode, period, I think you have to really subcategorize it. Like, best crossover episode, best nostalgic episode, or like best like side character episode.
Yeah, something. Because ranking all the seasons would just, or all the episodes would, or even if you just did a top 10, how do you how do you pick them out? Like, how do you genuinely determine what are the best
It's
episodes?
I
possible.
mean, I guess like solid start to finish, like, the story makes sense. How memorable it is. Like, is this an episode that really sticks out? Like, for example, for me, sometimes when I think back of Mighty Morphin Power Ranger episodes, besides the whole Green with Evil 5-part story arc, one of the ones that really stood out with me was Madame Woe, the episode with Madame Woe.
Wait, fair.
Well,
Let's hear the people's. What is number one for the people?
and rightfully
Mhm.
so, the number one people's choice, regarded as the greatest season of all time, Power Rangers in Space. You're wrong, bro. It's okay. We're all wrong. Like, you can best character developments. Like, it's so much you can do because it's 33 decades. I don't think people realize how long that is. Over 3 decades. Let me not say that. It's over 3 decades now. So yeah.
And
Anybody have any last
Like,
concerns or anything?
nope, that one not here.
so,
Just, at the end of the day, we have our own opinions on what's at the top 10,
Always.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So before we go, I do want to take a look at this real quick. So it was Lost Galaxy, Ninja Storm,
Mhm.
Dino
Dino Fury.
Thunder. Dino Thunder popped first, and then Dino Fury. No, I'm sorry. Dino Fury, Dino Thunder, then Time Force, then Dino Fury. All of those are the only ones that we all had in our top 10. So I think they were all in the top 10 all time too. So, like I said, it seems like we have a solid consensus as fans across the board about what we want to see and what we like. So all companies have to do is listen to us. Just we're telling you what we want. We're telling you how to
Seriously.
do it. And you just got to execute. The execution is your responsibility. The ideas got to come from us because y'all don't know what y'all doing in that aspect. Take our ideas, execute properly, give us gold, we give you money, everybody's happy.
Yeah,
That's one way to put it.
holy.
Or just at this point, if you really want a good story, good recent Power Ranger story, just read the comics.
Yep.
Comics are
Just do
so
that.
good right now.
I heard, and I don't want to lead us on any longer, but I heard that they're stopping the comic line.
Yeah, well, Boom Studios is still gonna make the comics, but this current run of Power Rangers comics, they're gonna like end the storyline, and then there's gonna be a big announcement at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, okay. So they're not completely getting rid of it, they're just starting over, reboot.
The next stage.
Like how sometimes they've had the reboots in Marvel and DC, things like that. But I don't know if they're gonna reboot or if they're gonna, instead of focusing on the Mighty Morphin crew, if they're gonna start focusing on more Ranger teams. Like maybe they're gonna do it because since Cosmic Fury and Dino Fury was so popular, they might do a comic book run on them.
That would be smart.
There's some serious things. A relook. Mystic Force.
Mystic Force is probably the most deserving of a comic run to be redeemed for sure.
So they can fix it.
And they have some really dynamic characters too that would fit really well into comics. So yeah. Yeah. That would be nice, a Mystic Force line.
It won't happen, but it would be nice.
Only time will tell. If they not stopping, you give us enough time, eventually they'll get back around to it. Wishful thinking, wishful thinking. All right. Well, that's the end of this episode for our top 10 seasons ranking. Hope you guys had as much fun as we did. Hopefully see you guys next time. We don't know what we're doing next. So it'll just be a surprise for you guys.
Figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But uh till next time, this is Generations of the Grid. I'm Wes.
I'm Candace,
It's Damien.
And we will see you guys
and may
next
the power
time.
protect you.